NottsRockCast is an association with Regular Riot. Welcome to NottsRockCast, the Notts Alternative Scene podcast. And here is your host, Jethro D, bringing you everything Notts and rock.
Welcome, Notts Rockers, to NRC-029 over YouTube. This remains one of our most popular podcasts, with a man that is so popular in Nottingham, he defines the word popular. Have I said that enough? Anyway, hit that subscribe button and ding that bell to get notified when we release more podcasts on YouTube. Let's check it out. Right, okay, we're here at the Tap and Tumbler, and today is my very, very privileged feeling of having someone that is pretty much famous throughout Nottingham, because nearly everybody that's got on this podcast has said, why don't you get Phil Core on the podcast? And guess what? I'm sat in the snug at the Tap and Tumbler with Phil Core. Say hello, Phil.
Evening. How you doing?
If you can't hear that, he's actually in the other side of the stall at the moment. Okay, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
So I'm Phil Core. I'm a promoter at Torturous Promotions. We do monthly gigs at the Chameleon Arts Cafe on the square. Been promoting for just over 10 years now. It's been quite a wild ride, but I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it, actually. I've made some good contacts and some great friends through it all.
Cool. Okay, first thing I do like to ask, give us a quote of inspiration from your time in Notts.
Christ almighty. Watch out for trams.
Watch out for trams.
The very first night the trams were running, I nearly got ran over by one.
Oh, okay.
That's a trap!
It's too late, Bob, sorry.
If you didn't hear, that was Bob, but he was shouting, it's a trap.
I feel like Admiral Akbar.
So what happened with this tram incident then?
Well, basically, I came staggering out the tap one night after a session. I think it was Friday night.
So it's the tap's fault?
Oh, it's all the tap's fault. Bob wasn't here at the time, so I'll probably have to blame Brenda, if people can remember Brenda. Went staggering down towards the square, and luckily my mate Lewis actually pulled me out the way of this tram that was, as far as I'm concerned, it was a runaway tram, and it was careening right towards me.
And that was Lewis Phillips,
That was Lewis Phillips and his brother Ryan, yes.
If you haven't seen the photo that I put on last week, yes, there was the whole three of us in the bar together, which was kind of a funny coincidence, because Lewis actually just was here out of the blue, so...
Yeah. So Lewis saved my life, but I would never tell him that.
Okay, we won't tell him that, and we won't tell him thank you or anything.
No,
like
definitely
that.
not, no.
Cool, because I know he listens each week. So, are you originally from Notts?
Originally from Peterborough.
Oh, right.
Moved up here just shy of my second birthday with my dad's job, and I've been here ever since. So, I was born in Peterborough, but I consider myself to be from Nottingham.
Okay.
I've never really known anything other than Notts.
Fair play. So, whereabouts in Notts did you move to then?
Moved to Bramcote Hills, and then stayed there till I was about 18, 19. Then I moved into Beeston Rylands with a couple of my mates.
Yeah.
And then various other houses with various other mates around Beeston. But now own a house on Donkey Hill in St Anne's.
Oh, right.
Been there 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I really like that you say you're through and through, even though you still claim to be born somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's because there are a lot of people in this town, as I said from the beginning, that wanted you on this podcast because you're just one of them well-known faces.
It's because I'm usually in pubs. That's it.
Okay.
Maybe not so much these days. Now I've been slightly domesticated by the wife. But back in the day, every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you could usually find me in the Tap or the Sal or Foreman's.
So that's why a couple of years ago I had a few people in succession turn around and ask me if I'm you.
Yes. Apparently,
Which, to be honest, we look nothing alike.
no. Apart from long hair and beard, that's about it, really.
Yeah, but mine's a hell of a lot smaller.
Yeah.
So how long have you been growing that?
The last time I was clean shaven was 1997.
Okay.
So it should be a lot longer, but I tend to trim it down.
No, that makes...
More for work than anything else, sort of thing.
Well, I want mine longer, but it just doesn't seem to grow past what it is now.
Well,
so
it's fairly long. It's
yeah.
decent length. You got a good goatee going there.
Fair enough. I think it's just a big rat on my face, but
Well, I wasn't going to be the one to tell you.
fair enough. So, outside of what you do with Torturous Promotions, do you have any other profession that you do?
I work at what was the Boots factory in Beeston. It's not Boots anymore. We've been bought out by Forever, a French company.
Oh, right.
So I was there this morning from 6 till 2, making Colgate toothpaste this morning.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and we do all the stuff. We do sun creams, do hand creams, mouthwashes, shampoo, shower gels in different areas.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just follow this recipe, chuck all these materials into a big vat, mix it up, cook it up, and hey presto, toothpaste.
That's interesting. Just because I obviously have you on Facebook as a friend, so I see like you day in, day out.
Yeah.
Other than like your poo comments, which I don't know where that's come from.
My bottom.
Well, obviously, what I meant was, what started that off?
I was bored, sat on the toilet, and I think I was just sat there scrolling through Facebook as you do. I think someone put up, "I've just brought broccoli, lol," and I thought, well, that's a bit shit, mate. So I put having a poo, and I think I got, I don't know, several dozen likes on it, and loads of people commented, and it just seems to have snowballed from there. I mean, if a day goes by and say I don't have a poo, or I just forget to post, I do get people messaging me, checking I'm okay, and it's like, yeah, I'm all right, mate. I just haven't told people about the poo. That's
because
all.
it's. I found it funny at the time because Matty Andrews from Mordau does exactly the same thing, or did quite at the time, and I was just like, what the hell's going on here, sort of thing.
But you were thinking, what kind of town have I moved to?
Well, yeah, it's rather a shit town, really. But oh dear. So, how did you get started with Torturous Promotions? Promotions?
Promotions, yeah.
Yes.
So it was the spring of 2009. Me and my mate Matt, who I'm ashamed to say I haven't seen for years actually, we were moaning about how we hadn't been to a gig in Nottingham, either at Rock City or any other venue for a while. There was no one coming through Nottingham that we'd want to see, and that kind of got me to thinking. I'm thinking, well, why don't I sort of do it myself? Yeah. So I set up a MySpace page, as it was at the time. MySpace. This is before Facebook, before I was even aware of Facebook anyway. Basically, so, I came up with the name Torturous Promotions. That was something that was rattling in the back of my head for a while. I don't know why.
Probably because of the style of music?
Possibly so, yeah.
I'm a thrash fan,
Possibly
so I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, I think that's fine, yeah. Set up this MySpace page saying, I'm looking to be doing gigs probably towards the autumn of 2009. If anyone's interested, give me a shout. And I got loads of bands saying, oh, yeah, we'd be up for that. Okay, yeah, cool. Just trying to get like a list of bands going.
Yeah.
Interested parties before I decide who I'm going to put on. And then this band from Wales called Necrocest. Necrocest.
Nice.
Yes. They messaged me saying they wanted to play Nottingham on the 1st of July. Yes. And I said, well, it's a bit earlier than what I thought I was going to do, but yeah, fuck it. Let's go with it. So that was Wednesday the 1st of July at the Old Angel. Yeah. Not the Angel Market Brewery, the Old Angel, as it was. It was a Wednesday. Obviously, school night.
Yeah.
Didn't go as smoothly as I'd like. It was good. All the bands turned up on time. Few issues, nothing too major. But yeah, it was a good night. People went home happy. Bands went home happy. It gave me a grounding from which to build on.
Yeah.
So after then, I had to book time off work to do that. Because I work shifts. So I tend to do weekends now.
Yeah.
Plus also, it's not school night. You can have more people through the door.
Yeah.
On a Friday, Saturday. But yeah, it's been a learning curve. I suppose everyone starts somewhere, don't they? But I like to think I've got a handle on it these days. For some reason, I seem to have a good reputation around the UK.
Yeah, you certainly do.
I have bands messaging me daily, brand new bands. Like we've been recommended to you by so and so, or they just come across my page on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm doing roughly 1 gig a month. I could easily do 1 a fortnight, but I don't really want to oversaturate it.
No,
so I think 1 a month
that.
makes it a bit sort of maybe not special, but if I was doing 1 a fortnight, people would perhaps get a bit sick of it. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm doing roughly 1 a month, I think that keeps it fresh.
Yeah. Oh no, that's really cool. Okay, so I asked Chris about this because I'd seen you'd posted the day before I actually did the interview with Chris. Now, getting banned on Facebook.
Right.
Do you want to talk about that a little more? Because I'm trying to get my head round why this keeps happening.
I think what it is so if you share your gig to too many groups, too often, or perhaps too many too soon, it tends to ban you for about a day or 2 days or a week.
Yeah.
But for me, that's what the admins of the groups are there for.
Yeah.
To moderate the content.
Yes.
I think what it is because Facebook do this promotion scheme where you pay a certain amount of money.
Yes.
And they will spread your event around to whoever they deem fit within certain parameters that you set. I've used that once. It had no impact whatsoever from what I could see. I think what it is because people aren't paying for this feature, they're thinking that if they can clamp down on how far you can promote your own event, you're going to go crawling to them. It's like, for example, I set up an event last week for September, and the initial number of invites I got was 50.
Okay.
Which is shocking.
Yeah.
Normally, it's in the hundreds, and you can invite whoever you want initially off the bat. But for some reason, and that has happened to me before, they decided to limit me to 50 invites straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Which is a bit piss poor, really.
But it certainly is.
I think it's all about Facebook making money, so they're trying to limit what you can do for yourself.
Yeah. I'm because I know a little bit about IT, and I think the fact that are you posting the same writing under these posts every time? Are you changing it a little bit descriptive?
I am changing it because my mate did say what you're doing is you're copy and pasting the same thing. So
which then will flag as a spam.
Which then will flag as a spam. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. And so what I'm doing is I'll do, say, 4 or 5 the same, and then I'll alter it slightly.
Yeah.
And then do that, and then alter it slightly. And then I'll change it completely, and then do that. And that seems to keep me under the radar to a certain extent. But every now and then they do catch you, and they say, sorry, you've been posting too much.
Yeah.
So, tough luck for a week, mate.
Because I'm going to be honest, I'm still waiting for the day that they tell me that the NottsRockCast user account is fraudulent. Because, it is me, but it's the podcast me. It's not me as a personal me.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't give out my second name, which most people that listen to the podcast do know my second name. But I wouldn't give that out as far as I'm concerned. I'm Jeffro D. But you do catch me being tagged in certain stuff.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I probably wouldn't add people as a personal friend.
No.
So is that something that you abide by?
Yeah, to a certain extent, yeah. Obviously, I've got my personal profile, and then I've also got the Torturous Promotions page. I do tend to keep them separate as much as I can.
Yeah.
Obviously, most people in Notts or people that have been to my gigs or bands that have played do know that I am Torturous Promotions.
Yeah.
I do have instances where someone will message me personally, and then they'll message the page as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, you haven't got to do that, mate. Just do one or the other. So, I think you have to keep a bit of a distance, don't you?
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, like I was chatting to Bob before you turned up, I was saying about because he said he was going to invite me to a couple of events.
Yeah.
And I said, well, invite the podcast. Don't invite me personally, because I'm going to be reading the podcast's events list anyway each week. So there's no point wasting a friend invite on me.
Yeah. That's it. Well, yeah, to be fair, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I understand where you're coming on the Facebook thing. It's hard, and I think someone like you probably should look into doing a promoter's YouTube channel, how to become a good promoter.
I wouldn't know how to go. I'm a complete Luddite when it comes to stuff like that. I really wouldn't know how to do it. I'm doing all right as I am at the minute. If Facebook did decide to be a bit more draconian and really clamp down on people, then yeah, I think that might be a way to go, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I tried Twitter as well. I mean, I'm
so bad at not getting on Twitter.
I don't see the benefit from it. I've had probably very, very little response from it. I get a lot more from my Instagram.
That is something that, as I said, I posted on Instagram the picture I took of us at the bar, simply because I'm getting so many likes, so many interests off Instagram.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Which you can follow me at Instagram at NottsRockCast, and you can follow you at...
Torturous_promotions.
There we go.
I remember
we got to keep plugging these things.
Have, definitely.
Okay, so more about you as a person. What compelled you to be into the alternative scene?
I mean, during my teenage years, music, wasn't really into any sort of music at all, to be fair. And then it was actually my younger sister. She came, she bought this Metallica tape, it was at the time.
Yeah.
And I said, that's rubbish, what are you listening to that crap for? And then just after that, we got satellite telly. So my sister was sat there watching MTV.
Yeah.
And I think Metallica's One video came on.
Oh, the one where the guy's on the hospital bed in World War One.
Yeah. And I'm just sort of like, I think I was idly sat there reading my comic books or something. And my feet started going. And I looked up and it's like, oh, this is all right, isn't it? And I said to our Ellen, I said, who's this? She said, oh, that's Metallica. Oh, is it? All right. Have you got this tape? Yeah, I have. Yeah. Can I borrow it? And that was it. 1 week later, I turned around to my mum and says, right, I'm growing my hair long. And for Christmas, I'd like a leather jacket, please. And that was it.
And you never look back?
Never look back. No.
Oh, that's absolutely awesome.
Yeah. So, well, it's either Metallica or my sister's fault. I don't blame my sister. She used to be a copper.
I'm trying to skirt around that subject for the time being and might leave it to the second half. Oh, dear. Okay, so other than what we've talked about, is there any special mentions about you that people probably don't know, like a strange hobby like stamp collecting?
Not really. I used to read Marvel comics, everything that they put out, but stopped reading about 2001 when I split up from the X. Sold them all now. Paid for the bathroom though, so can't fault that. Yeah.
Is it a nice bathroom?
It is nice, actually, yeah.
Is this why you keep talking about going for a poo? Because you're in a plush bathroom?
I'll poo anywhere, dude. Don't you worry about it. Not really, no. To be fair, Torturous Promotions probably is my hobby.
Yeah?
I don't think of it as a second job.
Okay.
I mean, I'm doing it because I love it. I don't make a load of money off it. On a good night, I'll get myself a few drinks.
Yeah.
But for me, as far as I'm concerned, all the money goes towards the venue and the bands.
Right.
So, yeah, on a good night, I'll get myself some drinks. But as far as I'm concerned, the venue and the bands need to be paid.
Yes.
I don't always give guarantees. If I do, I make sure that happens. But I pride myself on making sure that everybody gets something at least, even if it's just, say, 20 quid for the local band or something.
Wow.
So, and I can only think of one case off the top of my head where I didn't pay everybody. And it was just the local band that I said, I'm sorry, we've not done as well as we thought. I can't afford to give you anything. And they said, no, that's cool. Just give us another gig in a few months. Okay, sorted. So I did, and I made sure I paid them that time.
Okay, I'm actually really blown away of what you've just said.
Really?
And I think anyone listening to this right now is probably just going to be like, what? He does it for the love and the hobby?
Well, I mean, yeah.
That's amazing.
It is a hobby. I mean, it gets stressful at times. I mean, when you have bands pulling out with 24 hours notice, unfortunately it happens.
Yeah.
But I like to have a backup in my head for every band.
Yeah.
At least one backup. So there's always someone I can message and say, the shit's hitting the fan, there's a chance you can step in. So there are those stressful moments like that. But no, for me, I do it for the love of the music and getting out there and meeting people and getting bands to play their material in Nottingham. And luckily, touch wood, people seem to be turning up for it. People seem to be coming back. I've probably got a group of, say, 12, 15 regulars who will be at 90% of my gigs, and then obviously other people as well, depending on who's playing. I get a real kick out of it.
That, honestly, dude, that's amazing. I'm hat off, and this is second podcast, hat's coming off. And I'm not even wearing a hat now because I've got my new glasses.
Sure, we can find you one.
Pardon?
Sure, we can find you one.
Yeah. But I think that is absolutely awesome. And so, considering you said touch wood as well, and the fact that you've just come across as this really amazing person that loves what he does.
Yeah.
So, talk to me about Dog Talica.
Okay, so
I know Paula's going to be talking to me soon.
Yeah. So it's all Paula's brainchild, basically, because she got one of her dogs from Mucky Paws, Small Dogs Rescue, and I know she's done a bit of fundraising for them before, and she decided that she wanted to do like an all-day charity event.
Yeah.
And she said she automatically thought of me for someone to help her do it. So I said, yeah, that sounds great. Had a word with the staff at the Salutation.
Yeah.
They said because it's charity, they'll give us the room for free,
Yeah.
which is awesome. So Paula's obviously got a lot of contacts as well. So Paula will pick, say, the top 2 or 3 bands, which are normally out-of-towners, and then I'll choose what I consider to be suitable local, in inverted commas, support. So say no one travelling too far, because it's a charity gig. Unfortunately, we've said to the bands, obviously we can't pay you for this.
No.
Because everything goes to charity, but bring along whatever merchandise you've got, and obviously whatever you sell is yours.
Yeah.
And people always seem to shift some merch, which will cover their travel costs. But yeah, so I think it was the 3rd year this year, maybe.
Yeah.
We've already got plans for next year.
Good.
Actually, Paul and I were talking about next year, the day after.
Well, we'll let her talk about that.
Okay,
because I'm going to be catching up with her. I just wanted to know your role into it.
Basically,
so I think that's brilliant.
I mean, Paula's the looks, and I'm the power behind the throne, if you will.
Yeah.
So Paula will say, right, this band's interested. Okay, cool. I'll give him a shout. Paula tells me you want to play Talica. Yeah, we're well up for that. So I sort out the bands. I sort out the running of the day as well. More so DJing between the bands, and then I'll DJ until whatever time people leave after the bands, usually about 3 a.m. It's been the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm probably doing most of the work, but it doesn't bother me because it's for charity.
Yeah, exactly.
And last year we made, 1,200 quid. Year before we made even more than that.
Yeah.
So it's all good. I know Mucky Paws are very happy with what we're doing.
Good.
And,
well, that's why I thoroughly enjoyed it myself. And I got to turn up, interview 4 different bands.
Yeah.
5 different bands, I think it was. And I'll definitely be turning up again. And I'm going to try and get around more of these mini festivals and stuff. And all-dayers. I shouldn't call it a mini festival because Peter Lee thinks it's a really weird idea to call it a mini festival when it's an all-dayer.
He's probably right. I suppose it's whether you've got delusions of grandeur or anything like that.
Well,
for me, a festival's a couple of days at least, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to at least have one crap in a porta potty.
That's no fun if you don't do that, is it?
Exactly. So where is the worst place you've ever had a poo? This one's coming from Dave Everett.
Oh, cheers, Dave. I'll have words with you next time I see you. Went on my mate's stag do, and we got an all-day return.
Yep.
And we jumped on the train to Sleaford, I think it was.
Oh.
Then the idea was to have a couple of drinks in Sleaford and then hop back on the train and get off every stop back into Nottingham. I think we worked out there was about 12 or 13 stops, something like that. So went to this pub by the railway station in Sleaford. I can't remember the name. And, obviously I'd been on a train for an hour or so. My breakfast was starting to make itself known, so I decided that I wanted to go and have a bit of a movement.
Yeah.
And so I went in this toilet, and there was someone's pants on the floor. There was no toilet roll, no seat, no lid. I think there was blood up the walls as well.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I was absolutely busting, so I had to go. It was that was an experience.
Oh, I'm glad I asked that question now. Okay, right. With what you do with Torturous Promotions,
Yeah.
for some reason I keep saying productions because it's IKE
It's written right there on that.
Well,
patch.
I keep meaning to get hold of a patch at some point.
They're sold out,
or a
actually.
shop. I know they're sold
Yeah,
out.
sold
I know
out.
you do the stickers, you do the...
The stickers are sold out. The Torturous patches are sold out. I've still got some Blame Phil patches.
Oh, I want one of them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll sort you one out, dude.
I'll give you the money for it,
Don't worry
definitely.
about it.
Well, I'll put the money to charity.
Yeah, fair enough.
Definitely. I've forgotten where I'm at now.
I have that effect on people.
Okay, with Torturous Promotions,
Yeah.
what hurdles did you personally face and how did you overcome them?
It's been really smooth running. I really can't complain of how well it's gone. All the bands have been cool. Everyone's done as I've asked them, with one notable exception, which I'm sure most people know about. That's the only problem I've had.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good
In
then.
10 years, that's the only issue I've had with that buffoon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Everyone else has been really sound. Really sound.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love the way that, especially Chris was talking last week. I didn't know if you catch that part. You said you delved into it in and out. But Chris was saying that between you, him, and Phil Taylor, you all share each other's events,
Yeah.
which is really nice.
We've all got a nice, good relationship in Nottingham. So, like, Chris and I will, like, invite people to each other's events to give themselves a bit of a boost. Phil Taylor as well. The promoters on the more extreme side. So you've got Nick Wolven from Wolven Crown. Wolven isn't his real last name. I can't for the life of me remember what it is.
Yeah. That's about all he's probably going to come up with.
To be fair. And you've got Lee Stevens Dowling from Snapmare Promotions. What we do is when we put a gig on, we'll make sure that we're not clashing with one of the other ones.
Yep.
Because there'll be nothing worse than, say, two of us having pretty much exactly the same gig on.
Yeah.
And then splitting that fan base down the middle. So we all stay in quite close contact, which I think is a really good special relationship. So we're not treading on each other's toes, as it were.
Yeah.
We're giving each other heads up as to which bands we're bringing in and when they're going to be playing and this, that, and the other.
That's really nice because Jason Weston was talking about that in his podcast.
Yeah.
That, at one point in Nottingham, everybody was working together and now it's done a full circle back to working together because they wouldn't put a metal night on at the Tap at the same night as the Sal or the same night as the Foreman's.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
It doesn't make sense to be in direct competition with each other. We should all be one big happy family.
Yeah.
Have each other's backs, helping each other out. And like you say, for quite a while, that didn't happen. It did used to be like that. And then all of a sudden, it became very much us and them,
Yeah.
You can't drink in the Sal if you drink in the Tap, which I think is just fucking stupid.
I think that's horrible. I've not known that since I moved to Nottingham.
Yeah, it was not
5 years ago.
Not a pleasant time, actually, because you'd be drinking in the Sal and then you'd have to sort of quietly sneak out if you were going to the Tap.
Oh,
because, I'm not going to name names, but
well, definitely don't. I'll cut it.
Well, okay, so I'll name it and you can cut it. No. It was quite an uncomfortable atmosphere. You either had to be Tap or Sal. You couldn't be both. And now it's great, We've got fantastic landlords at all the venues in Nottingham, as far as I'm concerned. There's no jealousy. There's no backstabbing to make yourself look better. Yeah. Everyone seems to be out for each other. They're noticing who's doing what nights and not actively competing with each other. Because all you can do is, like I said, split your fan base down the middle, and both nights are going to suffer.
Exactly.
So say if the Sal's got Wild Side on, you're not going to put a Glam Night on at the Tap. You've got to assume everyone's going to be at Wild Side. So you put on an alternative, don't you?
Yeah.
You put on like a metal night or something completely out
Covers
of the box.
band seems to be the biggest one here at the moment.
Covers bands do really well here, actually.
Yeah.
They've had some really good covers bands on.
Especially after the facelift, it seems to drag a hell of a lot more people in.
It does, yeah, it does.
I don't think I recognised one person the other night because I think it was a Wildside night. So, of course, all the people I know were down Wildside. I come up here and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll have a couple of drinks and mosey on back down to the south.
Yeah. It's great, though, because they're getting new people in, fresh faces.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're going to come back, which I'm sure they do. But no, it
should do. The music's this good.
Yeah. I think Nottingham's quite a vibrant scene at them.
Yeah.
At the moment, and it's good for everybody.
Yeah, completely agree. Right, we're going to take a break.
Cool.
And go top up my pint and go have a cigarette, and then we'll come back for the Knots and Rock section.
Awesome.
It's just typical.
Yeah.
But
Sod's law, innit?
anyway, I've just been talking about the fact that I've just found out there's power underneath the benches down in the little snug area that the tap and tumbler have got. And there's USB as well. So if you want to bring your phone down and charge your phone, I believe that's what it's there for.
I would assume so, yeah.
Anyway, welcome back. This second half of this podcast with Mr. Phil Core himself. Mr. Pooh, Mr. Blame Him, Mr. I Put On Torturous Promotions. There we go. But anyway, this section is Knots and Rock. So I'm going to kick it off by saying, what do you love and enjoy about Knots? Not so much the alternative scene, but Knots itself.
I think it's a nice city. Doesn't seem to be too much trouble, to be fair. I mean, like I said earlier, I live in St Anne's, which has a bit of a bad rep. But I've been there 10 years. I've never had any trouble. I had more trouble when I was living in Sneinton.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'd had my car nicked by joyriders about 3 times in Sneinton. And then it was found out of petrol about 2 or 3 roads down.
Wow.
But since moving to St Anne's, I've had no issues whatsoever. I mean, I regularly walk to and from town, usually while drunk when walking back. Never have any problems whatsoever.
Is there a time period gap between you having your car nicked and then moving to St Anne's?
It wasn't much longer after, to be fair, because obviously that sort of thing will piss you off.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah, I think it was then that we started, because we were renting in Sneinton.
Okay.
And then we started like thinking about getting a mortgage. And Emma, my wife, did say, I don't want to live in Sneinton anymore. And I said, well, that's fair enough, sweetheart. Yeah. Because at one point, someone put locusts through our letterbox as well, which was pleasant.
I'm only asking that because there's been a few people on that have actually said how nice Sneinton is.
Maybe it's changed.
So,
I mean,
that's why I was asking about the time period, because
I mean, I suppose I moved out August 2008. We moved into our house, so maybe it has, upped its game a little bit since then. But yeah, it wasn't a pleasant place to live.
Yeah, because as I say, places change.
Yes,
and
they do. Yeah,
I suppose time and also what sort of person you are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
because some people can move to some places and not enjoy it, and someone else can move there and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like trying to choose a dentist, which my wife had a go at me about.
Oh yeah.
Because she found a dentist, she got recommendations. I looked it up on Google, saw all the bad reviews, and actually they weren't a bad dentist.
Yeah.
Considering, I will admit it, I'm petrified of dentists.
I don't mind the dentist. There's worse things, but again, there's far, far better things, isn't there, to be fair?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so do you want to tell us a story or myth about Knots, or something locally interesting that comes to mind? I knew I should have read you the questions before we started.
Yeah. Thank you, darling. Oh, cheers.
Phil's lovely wife delivering him a beer.
Paid for it.
And he paid for it.
Yeah.
I got changed though. I'm surprised about that. Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay then. Seeing as everybody's probably dying to hear that doesn't know the real story without mentioning names, what is it about blaming you, for God's sakes?
Right, so
I do know it personally.
A couple of years ago, I was put in on a gig, small gig. It was going to be at Foreman, so it was just like 2 solo projects, basically.
Yeah.
Because there's not a great deal of room in Foreman's, bless it. So the least amount of equipment, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So there was going to be a band headlining and then a sport band. That was always going to be.
Yeah.
And the headliner, I messaged him saying, "Are you okay supplying your guitar cab for this gig?"
Yeah.
And he said, "No, I don't know the other act, so I don't trust him. I don't want him touching my equipment."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, not really the answer I'm looking for, but fair enough if that's how it is." And then he turned around and said, "But I want to use the other bloke's gear." Oh, okay. Right, okay. Let me ask them. So I messaged the other chap and I explained the situation. He said, "Well, it's not my cab. I'm borrowing it off a friend, so I'll have to ask.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it'll be okay." And unfortunately, for the headliner, that was an unacceptable answer. He wanted a yes or no answer there and then.
Yeah.
He called the other chap a cunt on the group chat, left the group chat, and then messaged me saying, "You better keep that twat away from me at the gig or I won't be held responsible for my actions." At which point I turned around and says, "Well, it's probably best you don't play then, mate, because I'm not having this sort of attitude at my events. I want everyone to come along, have a good time. I don't want a frosty atmosphere, quite frankly." And then he begged me not to kick him off. I said, "Well, sorry, it's done now. I think you've crossed the line. You've threatened someone who I've dealt with, who I've dealt with before, and top bloke.
Never had any problems.
Never had any problems, any problems with the other chat whatsoever." And then I didn't hear anything for a couple of days, and then this chap, he messaged the event page after I changed it, after I found a replacement band.
Yeah.
And I think his comment was, that was a dick move kicking me off this gig, Phil. You're going to regret it. I didn't even respond to it. I thought, you're just pissing in the wind there, mate.
Yeah.
A lot of other people commented saying, "This bloke sounds like a bit of a twat." And then he'd PM them something along the lines of, "Call me a twat to my face, you fucking Jew." They'd screenshot it. And then it just escalated from there.
Yeah.
And he put up this status saying that he's been kicked off the gig and that was my fault. I suppose I'll take a certain amount of the blame, but if he hadn't kicked off, I wouldn't have done it.
Well, no.
Once all the anti-Semitism came to light, he got kicked off his record label. And he was in a different band. All other members of that band left when his abuses came to light.
Wow.
And all of that was my fault. And then I put up a status saying, sort of tongue-in-cheek, "Phil Corey's to blame for all of your life's problems." And then it's just escalated from there. So it's kind of like, I view it as like a kind of supporting me in that situation, if you will.
Yeah.
In a sort of a tongue-in-cheek, comical, backhanded, "up yours, mate," to him sort of way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I think that this year was the third annual Blame Phil Day or something like that, or something ludicrous. And
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. I'm sure I was horrendously drunk and I must have really embarrassed myself by getting you to sing Summer Nights with me.
I thought I did all right.
But I blame you for being that drunk.
When we were on stage singing, I thought we did all right. But obviously some cretin in the audience saw fit to record it, and when I viewed the footage back, it was it's.
I haven't seen it. I need to see it.
Yeah, no, you really don't. It's cringeworthy. Because obviously, when we were on stage, I did think I was the second coming of John Travolta, but obviously that wasn't the case.
Oh, that is absolutely brilliant. But you do actually do that in support of a charity as well, don't you? Now.
So this year we've had merchandise for the first time. I thought about the idea of having patches or something like that, which I floated around. People say, yeah, that's great, that's a great idea. So after cost, all profits go to Mind, which is a mental health charity.
Yes.
I think mental health's very much in people's view at the moment.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Yeah, it is. It affects a lot of people. It affects myself to a certain extent.
Hands up as well.
Oh yeah, totally. I don't think there'd be anyone who'd say they don't have mental health issues or bad days or whatever. I think it does affect people in all walks of life, and I don't think it gets enough spotlight on it. It is starting to more these days, But it was kind of like, you don't talk about depression. It was brushed under the carpet, wasn't it?
And that's the joys of the internet, I think, that finally it's coming out that, yes.
Yeah, totally.
Every one of us suffers from a little something.
Yeah, of course they do.
Whether it's a lot or a little, people do suffer from it. I've got a friend at work. He's probably one of the most stable people I know. He's gone through a hard time. And he's actually come out and said, look, I do suffer from it a little bit now. And this has just brought it to light.
Yeah.
So you're not all out there suffering on your own.
No. I think one of the things I saw lately, which really brought it home to me, was the saying, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully people do have someone they can reach out to, friends, family, whatever. Because, I think it does you good to talk about these things if you feel ready to talk.
Definitely.
But and then someone suggested the idea of T-shirts, which I was a bit nonplussed around. I said, do you really think there'll be a market? And instantly about 30 people said, yeah, I'll have one. Oh, okay then. So set up a pre-order. That sold 50 T-shirts.
Yeah.
And then, so I placed an order for 50 T-shirts, and then about another 30 people came out of the woodwork saying, yeah, but I wanted one. Yeah, but the pre-order's been up for 2 months, mate, So I set up a second pre-order for another 30 T-shirts. So there's 80 Blame Phil T-shirts out there somewhere.
80. Wow, there would have been 81 if I'd have sorted my life out and actually got some money amongst me.
Lewis has just said the same thing to me. Are you doing more T-shirts? Probably not till next year.
No, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Is don't do them now till next year.
No, I mean,
definitely give some advance notice. Put 2020. Oh my God, 2020.
Terrifying.
Oh no, where's time going?
Down the toilet.
Obviously.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. But no, if you still got a patch, I'd definitely like a patch.
I've got a patch. I've probably got about 30 patches left. So
I want that before Bloodstock, though.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, not a problem.
Are you going this year?
Yes, we are. We didn't. We went for 1 day last year when priests were on, but unfortunately, Emma and I peaked a little bit too early.
Oh,
so the day turned a bit messy.
Yeah,
and then we didn't go the year before. But before then, we've been sort of like regulars. But
I've seen you the year before that.
But because of stuff needing doing around the house and kids and mortgage and life kind of got in the way. But yeah, we are definitely going this year. Really looking forward to it, actually.
Brilliant. Right, okay. What is your most favourite part of Notts or Nottinghamshire?
I would say I do enjoy walking my dogs. So I quite enjoy taking my dogs for walk because we've got some nice countryside around here.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, the weekend just gone, we went camping for the night at Home Pierpont.
Where?
Home Pierpont, the National Water Sports Centre.
Don't know it. I'm going to have to look it up and put it in the show notes.
Just past West Bridgeford. So you're probably talking 15-minute drive from here.
All right.
And then all of a sudden you turn off the A52.
Oh, that's the National
Sports.
Water Sports Centre that I giggle at every time I see the sign.
That's the one. That's the one. Obviously, your idea of water sports is very different from mine, Jeffrey.
I don't know what you mean.
No, not at all.
No, this podcast is rated explicit, so you can say fuck.
Can I say buttocks? So we went there, and there's some nice countryside. So we took the dogs for a nice walk. So I do enjoy getting out. Took the dogs to Gedling Country Park a couple of months ago, which again is on my doorstep. Never knew it was there. Yeah. But other than that, I'd probably say the pub. I love the Tap. I love Foreman's. I love the Sal. I love the Chameleon.
Yeah.
I like getting out and seeing people that I've not seen perhaps as much as I should.
Yeah.
But obviously, you guys got a mortgage, 3 kids. I tend to do as much overtime as I can. So I'm not out at the weekend as much as I used to be.
And this is why it's taken us about 6 to 8 months to do this podcast. Yeah. Everyone kept asking for you to be on, and I kept saying, look, I'm getting them on soon. Yeah. But like my work commitments, your work commitments, it finally clashed, and we're here now on a nice warm day.
It is. It's a lovely day, isn't it?
So, seeing as you mentioned the Chameleon, and I did ask you beforehand, let's talk about that place as a whole. Yeah. Why did you choose there for your events?
So, I was originally doing the Old Angel, and then that changed hands. And I went in to talk to the new owners, the current owners. Well, I'm not sure if it's the current owners, but the people who were running the Angel Michael Brewery.
Yeah.
After the changeover, I spoke to what I assumed was the manager, and I got the distinct impression he didn't really want me peddling my wares there.
Oh, okay.
I got a very frosty reception. He wouldn't let me go upstairs and have a look at the gig room, which I can't really get my head around that.
That's strange.
I just got the idea that he didn't like the look of me. Perhaps they didn't want metal and stuff there. I know they do now, but for a while they didn't. So
they finally found out where all the gigs were coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they had a few like indie rock bands on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that drew quite as well as it could have done. So after then, I went to the Running Horse.
Yep.
I was there for about 6 months. Unfortunately, that closed down as well.
Oh, no.
And then after that, I went to the Navigation on Trentlock.
Yes.
And that was very much... So there's no mixing desk. It's very much like a practice room scenario.
Oh,
so
right.
bands basically just plug into their cabs and play.
Yeah.
It's not an ideal scenario, but at the time, that's pretty much all I could get. The bands were happy. I explained the situation to them. And then there's one band, Harken, from Birmingham, if you know Harken.
Yes, I do know Harken. Yeah. I know Ben, and I am trying to get him on the podcast too. He has said he's going to do it.
They said that they absolutely needed a mixing desk and a sound engineer.
Yes.
I said, okay, then fair enough. So someone suggested, how about the Chameleon?
Yeah.
Okay, so I gave the Chameleon a shout. The date was free. We booked it. We had 80 people through the door.
Okay, what's the capacity on that?
Keep it quiet, but at that time it was 70.
Oh, shit, sorry.
But I wasn't aware of that. But then there was 80 through the door, but
people
not everybody
come and go.
Yeah, people do come and not everyone stays on. I mean,
yeah.
What I do with the Chameleon is I reach a point where I can't physically fit any more people in.
Yeah.
Rough count in my head, that's about 60, which is the capacity now because of fire regulations. But at the time then it was 70. But yeah, we had 80 people through the door, but not everybody stays. So my gig the other week had 60 through the door.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the night, you could see, a few people have sort of like trailed off, and maybe there's not so many people there that were there early on. But yeah, that gig, that Harken gig was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. And then I thought, well,
they were amazing at Pagan Pride the other year.
Yes, they were.
It's really a bit of a shame Pagan Pride's not happening.
Yeah, it is a shame actually,
but
it's a good day.
Mm.
But yeah, that sort of ignited my love for the Chameleon. I've been there ever since. And to be fair, John and Lauren, the owners, they've been really cool to me.
Yeah.
Simon, the sound guy, is absolute genius. He knows exactly what he can get out of the equipment he's got.
Yeah.
And most bands always comment on the sound, so the sound in there is absolutely immense.
Yeah.
For me, it's probably the best I've experienced in Nottingham.
And it's like an old Victorian living room if you haven't been there before.
I mean, like, people walk in, the bands that have, say, travelled, they walked in and they look around, they're like, and you can see in their faces, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then they sound check, and it's like, ooh, there's a spring in their step all of a sudden, and they can't wait to play.
Oh, brilliant. So, like I said to you earlier, I was a bit disappointed, and I said on the podcast what had happened with the Chameleon Calf and the fact that someone had decided to bust a sink up, destroy a fan. How did you feel about that personally?
Well, it was the day before my last gig, which was, June 29th. So it was on the Friday night when the damage happened. And I was talking to Simon, the sound guy, because obviously I got to the Chameleon, walked into town, so the first thing I do is want to piss. So I went in there and I could see one of the basins had been taped off and stuff like that. And obviously there was some other damage. And I went out and I spoke to Simon and says, what's happened? He says, well, there was an all-nighter last night. It was a DJ night. I think they were open until about 5, 6 in the morning. Obviously Simon was there doing the sound as well.
Yeah.
And he said it wasn't a regular. I think what it is all the pubs and clubs are kicked out about 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Some pissed up idiots looking for somewhere to keep drinking. Happened to go in the Chameleon. I don't know. Maybe he's had a bit too much to drink. Maybe he's on something else. Decides to start causing some mayhem. But it's bad news because the Chameleon's a lovely place and they don't deserve stuff like that.
No, they
really
definitely don't. Like
No.
I said, they're an independent duo. So
That's the last, because I spoke to John about it, and he said that at the minute what they're trying to do is they're trying to save up and get the kitchen sorted.
yes.
Didn't they want to turn it into like a taco bar or something like that?
Yeah.
Which would be really cool. But he says obviously that's had to go on the back burner because now they've got $2,000 worth of damages to pay for, which is the last thing they need.
And that's where they were kind of pressured on Facebook to actually start this just giving page.
Yeah, but I mean
So-
the uptake's been absolutely phenomenal, isn't it? I think
Yeah, it has.
they said that to cover the cost of damages was 2,600. I think they ended up being pledged about 4,300 or something like that. So
Yeah.
hopefully they can stick that towards the kitchen and all whatever else they've got on the horizon. He's doing.
And it certainly wasn't, like I was saying to you earlier, I think Nottingham, BBC Radio Nottingham, kind of put them under a bad light for that because they didn't necessarily want to start that page and start the charity thing, but they were kind of pressured into it via Facebook and via people who cared.
I think they just sort of highlighted what had happened.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden people say, yeah, why don't you set up, I think, was it Just Give or something like that? I'm not
Yeah,
sure,
it was just I think it was Just Giving.
Something like that, wasn't it? Or like GoFundMe or something.
Mm.
But yeah, they seem quite reticent to do that. And I can understand that because I couldn't imagine John and Lauren asking for handouts.
No.
You know what I mean, they seem very sort of,
But I think I just want to say as well is the fact that place isn't just an alternative place. They hold pop nights,
they hold
electronic.
they do house music, they have electronic, they have rap.
So
They
it
have
wasn't
everything.
just the alternative community giving to that. It was everybody because they're catering for everybody.
They are totally, yeah. And it's to their credit, it really is.
It really is. And they are just down-to-earth people.
Yeah, totally.
And I will be getting them on soon because I will have to pop round there and just make sure I definitely just do it. Okay, if we take this on a little more, talked about a lot of places so far, but I'm going to give you a scenario.
Go on then.
A person gets off a train or bus, checks into their hotel, then goes to the bar you're at and asks you, I've never been to Nottingham before, where's the one place I should go next? So we're sat here right now in the tap, and well, you can say the tap if you want.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? It depends what they're into, I suppose. But
it doesn't have to be this time of night.
They should probably go and check out the castle. That's nice. I've always enjoyed looking around Nottingham Castle.
So they're going to have to come back in 2020.
Well, you should now.
Yeah, have you not noticed that?
Oh no,
it's big scaffolding.
Oh right. No. I tend not to notice stuff like that. Fair enough, then, not the castle.
No, the castle's a good option.
Caves. The caves are always interesting.
Yeah.
I want to go back in the caves soon, actually.
Which caves? At the castle, or City of Caves, or the Sal, or there's caves everywhere.
They're all over the place. Nottingham's littered with them, isn't it?
Yeah.
And apparently they're all interconnected, which I find quite fascinating.
To a certain extent.
Yeah.
What I was told is if they were interconnected, you could start one side of Nottingham and come up the other side of Nottingham without seeing air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently it's all to do with smuggling or something, so they reckon.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Definitely in the City of Caves, they're all interconnected now, which is really interesting. I've been down there and I definitely would suggest doing it.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Wilton Hall's quite nice. I quite like Wilton Hall.
They've got caves
They
as
have
well.
got caves, yes, yeah. I remember going down there with my mum and dad years ago. That was a good day, actually.
Haven't been, and I know it's coming up soon, and I think me and the wife are going to do it.
Yeah, it was good. It was very nice. It included, well, what we did was it was a whole tour of the hall as well. So you went up to the very top floor, which is it used to be a dining room.
Yeah,
but there's no floor, so you can look down and see straight into the where they've got the elephant and the giraffe and all.
Oh wow,
so, yeah, that's quite interesting.
That's really cool. Okay, what is your most treasured musical object? And it doesn't have to be an instrument.
I sold all my instruments a long time ago.
What did you play?
Used to play bass.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, played in a few bands for
So you're a bassist?
Well, yeah. I've not played since about 2005.
Yeah.
I won some Memoriam vinyl singles. I quite like them. Got some guitar picks. I got one from Glenn Benton from Deicide. I got that when Deicide played the Earache Christmas Party at the Rescue Rooms in 2001.
All right.
Yeah, that was a good night, actually. Very good night. Them and Decapitated. Yeah, probably my memoriam singles.
Cool.
I do love that band.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're absolutely
Favourite
fantastic.
song?
Probably Austerity Kills off their latest album, which
Fair
came
enough.
out a couple of weeks ago.
Cool. Right. Name your most influential band or artist.
Bolt Thrower.
Bolt Thrower.
Bolt Thrower.
Why's that?
Because I love old school death metal and I love Bolt Thrower.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
A few years ago, it would have been Opeth, but Michael Ackerfeld broke my heart famously.
You what?
Michael Ackerfeld broke my heart.
Why did he
Because he
not
stopped,
marry you?
I was already married by that point. No, he stopped growling on record, which really turned me off. And it's probably me being quite petty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I know I talked about it several times, but I found out the other week because Jose from Gomorrah posted an old gig flyer,
Yeah.
and Opeth opened for them.
Really?
And I was like, wow, that like really brings it home, doesn't it?
Oh, totally, yeah.
But, oh, wow.
Everyone starts somewhere, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, usually I say name one thing, but I'm going to say, what are you excited about in the upcoming 6 months?
So I've got Woad playing at the Chameleon on August 31st.
Cool.
For those that don't know, Woad are really making a name for themselves in the UK black metal scene.
Yep.
Really looking forward to seeing them. Actually, really cool. The wife and I are going away for the weekend for our anniversary in September. We
that's
booked
nice.
a little cottage out in Lincolnshire
Cool.
for 3 nights. So that should be nice. We're looking forward to that. And also Hard Rock Hell Vikings in December.
Yeah?
Went to the last one last year and it was absolute booze-fueled mayhem. And I'm looking forward to more of the same this year.
I've said this several times, and everybody looks at me a bit weirdly when I go, I'm really not into Viking stuff.
It's not just... I mean,
Yeah.
there was a few Viking metal bands there,
Yeah.
but it wasn't just Viking metal bands. There was melodic death metal bands.
Folk metal?
There was a bit of folk metal, yeah, a bit of folk metal. But this next year, I mean, they've got a bit more black metal, a bit more death metal. They've still got the sort of Viking folk metal sort of
Yeah.
side to it. But I think all these hard rock hell things, there's a certain amount of crossover with all of them
Yeah.
to a certain extent, isn't there? But no, it was really, really good weekend. Bumped into a load of people I've not seen for a while. Load of people in bands, load of people, that I used to hang around with. Went with a complete bunch of idiots, which helps. So yeah, it was a really, really good weekend actually. Really looking forward to this year.
Cool. On that note then, usually I ask it a little different, but name your subgenre.
My subgenre,
Yeah. What you enjoy the most.
death metal.
Death metal.
Old school death metal.
Old school death metal.
Yes.
Any particular up and coming bands anyone should listen to?
So, ones that are on my radar at the moment would be Pemphigoid, who are sort of North Nottingham, Mansfield way.
Yep.
I've
Had them on several times, and
Yes.
they are either going to be playing after this section or they're going to be just played during the break.
Marvellous. Also, Mordhau from Nottingham.
Yep.
That's a band I'm sort of championing at the minute because they sort of started at the same time as Pemphigoid,
Yeah.
but Pemphigoid seems to have taken off a bit more than Mordhau have.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Pemphigoid, love to bits, absolutely great bunch of lads, great band, but I want to see Mordhau do a bit better. So
Definitely. That's hence why Matty introduces the news every week. But no, hopefully we're going to get their music on as well in this podcast.
yeah, that'd be cool.
And there was another band as well. They actually emailed me the songs today.
Ah, yes. So
So-
that would be Morty Viventi, who are a thrash metal band from Stamford. Started out as a solo project, But
right.
Adrian, the guitarist, I think he did everything. He released his album as a solo artist on UK EM Records, and then a lot of people, including myself, were pressuring him to take it live because the album is absolutely fantastic. So he got together a bunch of mates, took it live, and they've been absolutely ripping the guts out of Nottingham for the past couple of years.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
I'm excited to be hearing this.
Yeah,
I really am.
So I know you like your thrash, don't you?
Oh, I love thrash.
Yeah.
I honestly sat there today and I thought, I'm going to play some music at work. All the podcasts are up to date that I listen to. And what did I put on first? Without going through my phone, I can't think at the moment.
Fair enough.
I ended the day on a bit of Annihilator.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I started with Alison Hell.
Yeah.
And finished on Suicide Society. So I'd done them 2 albums in the last couple of hours.
Yeah,
and just to hear the difference between singers and the way Jeff Waters plays, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
And Suicide Society is kind of, like I was saying to a lot of people, it makes thrash fun.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
So
I think thrash has always had the element of fun, though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think back to like the 80s, you got Anthrax jumping around in their Bermuda shorts and stuff like that, and you know, on stage, obviously having the time of their absolute lives,
or tight trousers,
or even tight. Well, where floats your boat, Jeffrey?
It was Testament.
Was it Testament?
Yeah, I had to look that up. It's hard for me to tell. I keep telling people Metallica's my favourite band, but Testament kind of do it more for me.
Testament,
and it was Brotherhood of the Snake.
Yeah,
today.
Testament are definitely going to be. I think my favourite thrash band would probably be Exodus, if I had to choose.
Yeah, I completely.
I think they've been consistently great. I think that the fact that Gary Holt's actually playing in Slayer, just shows, or was.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think they've got a little bit longer to go on their final world tour.
Really?
Haven't they? I think they're just finishing off the States in the next few months. I think that's going to be
all right. Cool.
But then he can come back and he can concentrate on Exodus and get another record out with them.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Okay, I'm going to ask you the last question. In your opinion, what makes the Notts alternative scene great?
I think you've got such diverse elements coming from different areas. I think the fact of Nottingham is it's a university town. So most people that live here probably weren't born here.
Yeah.
So they're bringing influences from all over the country. I mean, you've got myself, I'm doing the extreme stuff. Lee Dowling's doing the extreme stuff. He also does the sort of the punk and the hardcore.
Yeah.
You've got Chris of IKE doing what he does. He also does metal to the masses.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
What do you think about the announcement?
What's that?
The metal to the masses is like 99.9% going to be here in the Tap and Tumbler next year.
I did hear something about that. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what that meant. Obviously, the maze is closed down.
Yeah.
That's good for the Tap, definitely.
Would you agree it's probably the best spot to put it in? Because that is what I've heard a lot of people say this week to me.
Think about the maze, no disrespect to it. It was right at the top of that hill.
Yes.
And that put a lot of people off, which it shouldn't really. It's the same as, say, Junction 7. Don't know if Junction 7 was here when you...
No, it wasn't, unfortunately.
It was up on Cannon Circus where they used to have Wildside before it moved to the south. And that closed down. A lot of people, basically Wildside was pretty much one of the only dates they had that actually made money.
Yeah.
A lot of people couldn't be bothered walking up the hill. Say it's probably 5 minutes walk from where we're sat now. But yeah, I think, if they did it here, I think that would work out really well.
Would you attend every night, considering you didn't have to pay to get in?
That's true. It'd be free, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Depending on work, because obviously the heat's during the week, so I work shifts.
No, it's going to be on Saturday night.
That's how it should have been from the start, to be fair. But that's just my opinion.
That's fine. I'm getting your opinion now.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do a gig like that midweek. But obviously, Chris did it. It worked well. I've seen the photos. It all seemed to be quite well attended.
No, it did well. It did really well enough.
Yeah.
But I think, like I said to him, I think the situation that he's doing now is just going to make it explode.
Yeah, totally. This place will be rammed, which is good for the bands, because it's always good to play to a full room.
Yep.
Because obviously the bands will feed off the energy of the people watching. and vice versa. Great
Yep.
for Bob. He'll make a killing behind the bar.
Yeah.
We might actually see a happy Scotsman for a change. Yeah, it should be really cool, actually. Really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to? And I suggest making sure she doesn't throw a pint at you.
My lovely wife, Emma, who sat just over there giving me the thumbs up. Or was it two fingers? I'm not sure which.
And anyone else?
Just thanks to all the bands that have ever played for me. All the landlords, sound engineers that I've ever worked with at the Angel, Navigation, Running Horse, Chameleon, Sal. Thanks to yourself, Jethro. For this
No, that's all right.
opportunity, of course.
Thank you for getting on.
And thanks to everyone who's ever come to one of my gigs. It's much, much appreciated. The bands have appreciated it. There's nothing worse than playing to an empty room. I've done it myself before. It's absolutely soul destroying. So
Yeah.
thanks a lot to everyone.
Right. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Notts Rockers, for listening to NottsRockCast over YouTube. If you would like to check us out on your favourite podcast player, please search NottsRockCast. And don't forget, if you're on social media platforms, give us a like, give us a share. You'll find us at NottsRockCast. Anyway, till next time, keep it Notts, keep it rocks.
NottsRockCast is an association with Regular Riot. Welcome to NottsRockCast, the Notts Alternative Scene podcast. And here is your host, Jethro D, bringing you everything Notts and rock.